Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Omotayo Alo. In our major story, President Muhammad Buhari has exempted the governing councils of federal universities from the recently announced dissolution of boards of federal government's parastatals and agencies. Also in this program, the Ekiti State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has raised alarm over what it described as clampdown and arbitrary arrests of its members by the PDP-led state government. The Ekiti State PDP of the All Progressives Congress has raised alarm over what it described as clampdown and arbitrary arrests of its members by the PDP-led state government. And from outside Nigeria, an Egyptian court has sentenced 300 loyalists of Muslim Brotherhood group of former Islamist President Mohamed Morsi from 3 to 10 years in prison over violence charges. And now the news in full. President Muhammad Buhari has exempted the Cabinet Council of Federal Universities from the recently announced dissolution of boards of federal government's parastatals and agencies. The exemption, according to the presidency, is a temporary move to ensure that the institutions continue to run without any hitches. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday. He said all vice-chancellors of federal universities have been duly informed of the exemption by the head of civil service of the Federation, Danladi Kifasi. Some senators have hailed the appointment of key members of the Senate Unity Forum as chairmen of sensitive committees. They described the move as signs of readiness by Senate President Bukola Saraki to adopt a non-partisan approach in constituting committees. Senators Aliyu Abdullahi, Larry Tedrosho and Peter Nwaboshi said in a joint statement in Abuja that this is reflected in the decision to hand the chairmanship of 2 of the influential committees that have so far been named to members of the Unity Forum. They cited the appointment of Senator Babajide Omowurare from Osun East as chairman of the powerful committee on rules and business, which they described as the engine room of the Senate. The senators also appointed the choice of Senator Barnabas Gemade as chairman of the other committee on review of state of the roads and areas suffering environmental degradation, despite being the arrowhead of the Unity Forum. The lawmakers added that, contrary to speculations in some quarters, there are signs that the present Senate under the leadership of Saraki will play positive roles in helping the Buhari administration eliminate insecurity, youth unemployment, corruption, and economic stagnation in the country. One of the 81 senators who passed a vote of confidence on Senate President Bukola Saraki says he and his colleagues decided to back him in national interests. Kabiru Gaya has no regret about his action and insisted that he is not in the Senate to push a personal agenda. Gaya, who initially did not support Saraki, told journalists in Abuja that it was time to forge ahead with the party's change agenda.
Whatever way the thing happens, we should try to be united and now assist the Buhari administration. Because if we are fighting in the Senate, there is no way Buhari can do his job well because we are his immediate constituency. He relates to us, like now the appointment of the service chiefs. After maybe next month you come up with appointment of ministers. Either next time you come up with a bill. So if we are fighting, this can't work. So I'm appealing to all my colleagues in the Senate to unite ourselves and move forward. I think there is no basis of which fighting will help us. Position has been given is done by God. If God has never destined this man to be the leader of the Senate, the president of the Senate, he wouldn't be. So be it that he's there now, let us cooperate and work with him and let us move forward. Because we came with the high hopes. Nigerians need this change. Nigerians have high expectations of President Buhari. Therefore, we should not be fighting. We should work together. 2 months we are at the Senate, we are trying to sort ourselves out. Now that it is, it's not 100%, it's 80% okay. Now I'm appealing to all our elders within the APC to close this round and let's move forward. I think that we cannot continue because Nigerians will not be happy with us if we continue fighting when there are a lot of crises on our hands.
A federal lawmaker representing Akure North and South constituency in the House of Representatives wants the police to do more to stop incessant kidnapping in Akure and Ado-Ekiti. Ajichafe Olowokere told CoreTV News in Abuja that the rise in activities of kidnappers is creating tension and worry among residents of this area. He also suggested that the crackdown on perpetrators be extended to all the parts of the country where the act is worrisome.
We want these activities of the kidnappers to be curtailed, to be checked before, it turn out to be another thing. So my interest, and that is why we even mention names of both prominent and, like I said it, not too prominent people that have been kidnapped, and most times, these kidnappers always raise or demand for ransom, of which many of the families of those people that have been victims could not even imagine or raise. And people in Ondo State and Ekiti have said could no longer sleep with their 2 eyes closed. And people now, are afraid even to engage themselves in their daily activities.
2 communities in Jos Plateau State, Jotes and Gahish in Northern Wada area, have been cut off from the rest of the city as the only access road is now in bad state as a result of rainfall. The link bridge leading to the highway is also not accessible. However, the residents of the areas are calling for government quick intervention to put adequate measures in place to prevent any further disaster.
Now that the rains are back, several communities in Plateau State are faced with the problems of flooding and other hazards of a poor drainage system. Plateau State was among one of the worst hit in 2012 as a result of flooding which swept through many cities in Nigeria. Residents of Plateau State are living in perpetual fear over a repeat of 2012 events. They are calling for intervention and a quick fix solution to the damaged roads. Speaking with some residents of the area, they decried government abandonment and call on spirited individuals to come to the raid.
This place has been here more than 10 years, as my mothers have said, and this is a community effort that as you can see. And anytime that this rain is here, we can spend more than 4 hours before the rain got off, then we cross. So we're appealing to the new coming government, if they can do something about it, we appreciate it.
How long has it been like this?
So good 1 hour 30 minutes.
Wow. And it's just going down bit by bit.
Yes, sir.
Whenever it's up like this, what do you people do?
We used to stay here for a long time before
This resident of the community laments the bad state of the road. She therefore called on the government to take urgent steps to repair the access road. According to her, it will be difficult to access to the city from the community.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it at all because we've been passing through this for years, year in, year out. You can see, you can imagine if there's an emergency, what will we want to do? If government will help us at least, even if they will not construct the road, let them just make a local bridge across this place.
Join us after this break for more stories.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to your husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
But some people will strong for Yoruba land. Will be strong man. We don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it's time to forgive me.
Please for Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's CoreTV Primetime News. Here's a quick reminder of our major story. President Muhammad Buhari is exempted the governing councils of federal universities from the recently announced dissolution of boards of federal government parastatals and agencies. The Ekiti State chapter of the All Progressive Congress has raised the lamp over what it described as clampdown and arbitrary arrests of its members by the PDP-led state government. Two communities in Jos Plateau State, Jottes and Gahish in Todonwada area, have been cut off from the rest of the city as the only access road is now in bad state as a result of rainfall. For more news and information, visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News. You could follow us and also tweet at us at our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. Also get more on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space and news. Ekiti State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has raised the lamp over what it described as clampdown and arbitrary arrests of its members by the PDP-led state government. The party, however, blamed the state police commissioner for being used as a political tool in Ekiti. Our correspondent Rashid has the rest of the story.
The arrest of Rotimi Olabiwonu, otherwise known as Mentilo, a strong member of the All Progressives Congress and former chairman of the Road Transport Union, has raised dust between the Ekiti State government and the All Progressives Congress. The magistrate court sitting in Ado Ekiti has reserved ruling on the bail application of Mentilo.
We have canvassed a matter before the court, and the state had responded. So we are of the opinion that everything is left for the court to make a pronouncement.
But the former governor and deputy national chairman of the APC, Segun Oni, he accused the Ekiti State Police Command of complicity in the arrest of APC members in the state.
They are clamping our people into prison under very flimsy excuses, and I want to tell the commissioner of police should realize that Nigeria did not sign for continuity of impunity, which is still going on here. And I hope it will not lead us to a situation where people like us will come on the street with people one day to challenge the morality behind him. That would be an invitation to public chaos. the worst he can do then is to mow all of us down and kill us, and other people will take over from us.
While Shegun opines that the alleged muzzle-up is consequent upon the politics of the state, the former state governor is however optimistic that his party, APC, will rule the state in the next governorship election.
I don't know whether he's going to wait until 2018 or before 2018. That's not my concern. My belief is that whenever we are putting the next person in Okebareke, by God's grace, that will be an APC state face.
Observers are of the view that the People's Democratic Party in the state and All Progressives Congress are upping their game and scheming ahead the next political dispensation. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
Governors elected on the platform of the All Progressive Congress have started strategizing ahead of governorship election in Kogi and Bayelsa State later in the year. The governors held a meeting in Abuja which ended in the early hours of Friday and resolved to work for the success of the party's candidate in the two states. At least 14 APC governors attended the meeting at the Imo State Governor's Lodge in Abuja.
Gentlemen of the press, we met and we deliberated on a lot of issues. One is that we have resolved to strengthen our party, to prepare for the forthcoming elections, especially the one of Kogi and Bayelsa. We're also very happy with the developments in the National Assembly, as peace is gradually returning to the National Assembly. So we're very happy, and what has taken place in the Federal House will soon take place in the Senate. So we are very happy. I will resolve to support the party and make our party bigger and much bigger than it is now. And our doors are open to welcome interested parties to join us in building the Nigeria of our dream and aspirations.
The multinational Joint Task Force now has a new leader following the appointment of Major General Tukur Buratai as Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff. Major General Ilyasu Abba formally took over the leadership of the body at a brief ceremony at the Army headquarters. The new MNJTF commander said the task of defeating Boko Haram is not insurmountable, but demanded robust intelligence, logistics, supply, and administration to enable troops rout insurgents in the sub-region. He argued that if three basic requirements were met, he and his team had the capacity to defeat Boko Haram in the area. Buratai expressed confidence in the ability of Abba to lead the MNJTF and noted that several international organizations had been making donations towards the operationalization of the task force. The federal government is on the list of individuals and groups that have yet to redeem their pledge to the Victim Support Fund set up by the Jonathan administration. It is owing 5 billion naira, but President Muhammad Buhari has promised to pay up. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on the Fund, Theophilus Danjuma, disclosed this to State House correspondent shortly after a closed session with the President.
We were launched during the fundraising that took place a year ago. The total amount of money that was pledged by various contributors was slightly more than 50 billion naira. Of this amount, only 23 billion naira has so far been redeemed. So there's a lot of money out there still to be recovered. Of the organizations and individuals that have not fulfilled their pledge, the federal government is one. We are expecting 5 billion naira from federal government. And the president today promised to honor the pledge of the federal government. We will plead with them quietly, but we may also resort to naming and shaming those who have not honored their pledge.
A federal high court in Abuja has dismissed the suit challenging the People's Democratic Party governorship primaries that produced the Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade. An aspirant in the PDP primaries, Joe Agi, had approached the court asking it to nullify the governorship election on the grounds that Ayade presented a false declaration of age certificate to INEC. Delivering judgment on the suit, Justice Abdul Gafarati held that the plaintiff failed to furnish the court with enough document to prove his allegation. He therefore dismissed the suit for lack of merit.
The judge has clearly shown to the public and to the world that this matter, the court has no jurisdiction, number one, that the matter is a pre-election matter and that is an internal affair of the party. So, number two, that the totality of the arguments that the plaintiff brought, was faulty and have no grounds, and that the court have judiciously dismissed the case.
The sitting governor did not pay his dues, membership dues to PDP. And as PDP, we came and said, he paid to us, and we cleared him to contest the primary after being satisfied that he has paid all his dues and that he's an obedient member of the party who has complied with all the requirements. And we argue that in any event, the issue of payment of membership dues is internal to the party. The courts do not have jurisdiction to dabble into such affairs. So if the parties have said, fine, we are satisfied with what a candidate has done and that he has paid his dues to us and we are okay, we want to allow him to contest the primary, that's fine now. It's not for the court to dabble into such issues and start making findings.
The Court of Appeal has set aside the decision of the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal in Kogi State to strike out a case filed by Senator Smart Adeyemi of the People's Democratic Party against the election of Senator Dino Melaye of the All Progressive Congress. Delivering judgment in the appeal, Justice Mohammed Adume held that the tribunal was wrong in striking out Adeyemi's petition on technicalities instead of substantial justice. Justice Adume also ordered that the matter be returned to the tribunal for retrial. The appellate court further said the tribunal's position that the petition was not filed within the time frame allowed by law was wrong.
The tribunal for expeditious disposal of the matter, and in a different panel, different from the one that considered the motion in the first place. The Court of Appeal found a lot of irregularity in the filing and service of the reply, which they earlier contended was served on the petitioner on the 13th day of May 2015, and affirmed that it was served on 14 May 2015 as the position of the petitioner at the lower court at the tribunal.
We take another break and we'll be back with stories from outside Nigeria. Stay tuned.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And on the foreign scene, 5 bodies with their hands bound and some with apparent signs of torture were found in a home in Mexico City. The bodies were found Friday night in a home in the middle-class area after a call from neighbors, said an official from the city prosecutor's office. Police said the victims were 3 women and 2 men. Their hands were tied with tape and some showed signs of torture. Their identities were not released, nor was there any immediate word on what the motive of the killings might be. Mexico is enduring a nightmare of drug-related violence that has left more than 100,000 people dead and 22,000 missing since 2006, when the government deployed the military to fight the country's powerful drug cartels. When bodies with signs of torture are found, authorities often suspect that stem from the settling of scores between rival gangs, mainly in state and northern of Mexico. Severe flooding across Myanmar has hampered rescue efforts as thousands sheltered at monasteries after rising waters triggered by torrential rains killed at least 27 people. Thein Sein, Myanmar's president, added to devastated rural regions where a state of emergency was declared after the deadly monsoon rains displaced tens of thousands of people, flooded wards and of paddy field and prompted fears of dam collapsing. Sen was set due to arrive on Saturday at a military base in Sagaing Division, a major rice-growing area where soldiers are coordinating a relief effort after a month of rain overall, but 2 of Myanmar's 14 states. Heavy monsoon rain has battered vast swaths of the country in recent weeks, disseminating tens of thousands of houses and fields and leaving people stranded in remote villages in a disaster testing the government's limited relief operations. Rescue efforts by authorities and local head groups were underway, but they are struggling to access flood-hit areas, the official said, adding that there was no update to Thursday's death toll of 27 due to disrupted communications. An Egypt court sentenced 300 loyalists of the currently blacklisted Muslim Brotherhood group of former Islamist President Mohamed Morsi from 3 to 10 years in prison over violence charges. Zaghazi Criminal Court in Sharia Province, Morsi's hometown, sentenced 31 to 10 years and 269 to 3 years after being convicted of inciting and committing acts of violence, possessing weapons and belonging to the Brotherhood group. Meanwhile, another criminal court in Giza, near the capital, Cairo, delayed the trial of 379 Brotherhood members and supporters over weapon possession, murder and vandalism charges during 2013 pro-Morsi sitting to October 18 to enable the lawyers to read the case and prepare for defense. Morsi was removed by the military in July 2013 after mass protest against his one-year rule. His Muslim Brotherhood group was eventually designated as a terrorist group after growing terror activities prevailed in the country following Morsi's career. The country also added that the court also confirmed the death sentence against Morsi over mass jailbreak during the 2011 uprising that toppled longtime ex-leader Zain Mubarak, besides handling mass death sentence to all the Brotherhood members and supporters. In its annual report released in late May, Egypt's National Council for Human Rights said that the violence since Morsi's removal has resulted in a death of 2,600 people, including 700 police and army men, 550 civilians, and 1,250 Brotherhood members and supporters. Now to sports. Jason Yoon helped Chelsea ladies to their first major trophy as they beat Notts County in the first women's FIFA Cup final to ever be played at Wembley. South Korea striker Ji scored from Ole's range in the first half in front of a record final crowd of 30,710. Len Crinton had not best effort cleared off the line by Chelsea forward Gemma Davison after the break. England striker Eniola Aluko created the winner and was outstanding in a deserved win from the Blues. Emma Ayres' side, who came into the final off the back of 2 consecutive league defeats, were beaten on penalties by Birmingham in their only previous women's FA Cup final appearance in 2012. Not captained by England defender Laura Bassett, were appearing in the final for the first time. Rafael Nadal is into the final of the Hamburg Open following a comfortable 6-1, 6-2 win over Italian Andrea Seppi. The world number 10, who is chasing a record 47th clay title, broke his opponent 7 times to seal victory in 1 hour and 18 minutes. The Spaniard will now face another Italian, Fabio Fognini, in the final. Fognini and his partner Simeon Bolelli withdrew from their men's doubles semi-final on Saturday, gifting the final spot to Jamie Murray and John Pearce. In the final, Britt Murray and his Australian partner, who were beaten in the doubles final at Wimbledon last month, will face Colombian duo Joan Sebastian Cabal and Robert Ferrari. And that's it on CoreTV Primetime News. Here's a quick reminder of our major story. President Muhammad Buhari has exempted the governing councils of federal universities from the recently announced dissolution of boards of federal government parastatals and agencies. The Ekiti State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has raised the alarm over what it described as clampdown and arbitrary arrest of its members by the PDP-led state government. Two communities in Jos Plateau State, Jotas and Gadi-Ish in Northern Wada area, have been cut off from the rest of the city as the only access road is now in bad state as a result of rainfall. It's a wrap on CoreTV Primetime News. Thank you so very much for watching. I remain Omotayo. Alo. Bye for now.